Hi, thank you for joining me. Today I would like to discuss with you about dressing your candles. Now, dressing the candles, a completely dressed candle would include a label, energizing the candle, also adding things to a candle. That is a completely dressed candle. This candle, let's move this out of the way. This candle would be considered a completely dressed candle. This candle has a label added to it, and it also has stuff added on the inside of it. So that would be considered a completely dressed candle. A candle such as this would be considered a partially dressed candle because it has a label on it and a prayer on it, but it hasn't been personalized with someone's name. It doesn't have anything in it. And then this candle would be considered a plain candle, as well as these loose candles that are birthday candles, votive candle, taper candle, utility candle, or a tea light candle. These would be considered undressed candles. And the reason that you're dressing the candle is to help with the success of your project and to better focus the energies. If you don't completely dress a candle, it's okay. To you, a completely dressed candle may not have any other additives to it. However, I see a completely dressed candle as having things added to it. It may be a situation where you don't want to add any extra stuff to the candle, and that's perfectly okay, but you still need to label the candle and energize the candle, and you can see that in one of my other videos. Now, some of the things, let me put these to the side. Some of the things that you add to a candle in order to dress it would be oils. You can place some oils on the candle. Seasoning. The reason I say seasonings are really herbs. So herbs, any type of herbs, whether they these are seeds, and you can place seeds on the candle to dress the candle. Also, seeds, food can be used to dress the candle. I'm not speaking about dressing the space and offerings. I'm speaking of what you can actually add to the candle itself. Just add to the candle. So seeds. A lot of people add herbs, and if you don't have fresh herbs, you can use dried herbs, which you will see most of your seasonings are dried or ground herbs. Those you can also use. A very popular item that is used on dressing candles would be glitter, and it's up to you what colors and what type. Shredded paper or money. These are some of the herbs and powders. There are other powders also that you can use. These are coffee grounds, more herbs, and some tobacco, different types. It's all up to you what you would like to add. Now I'll just place these up here. Now, in adding them to this, you can add the oil to these candles, and then you may be able to get some of these objects or items to stick if you added oil to this particular type candle. Then you could roll it in some of these powders or herbs and then place it in a container and use it. However, these type candles, you can try that also by placing oil on the candle and seeing if some of the herbs or powders would attach themselves to the candle. However, I wouldn't put the shredded papers on it, and I wouldn't put too much of these other items on these types of candles because the flame would come down and may ignite it. On a candle such as this tea light candle, you can add some items here on the top because this is going to wax and pull up inside this container. You can add items in here, just sprinkle some items in here, and placing the items in here, try and put it away from the wick, the burning part, and have them around this outside area in here, and that way they won't ignite, because it would ignite into a flame. This is pretty safe. It generally holds the flame inside this glass container, but you don't want any flare-ups. You want the items that you add to stay with this candle until it burns out. You don't want it to ignite. You want the energy from what you're adding to stay inside there and pool inside there. Now, when you use oil on a candle, excuse me, I wanted to also say that you can add, coins, or you can add crystals, and just place them right inside the candle. Now, the rule of thumb for oils, when you add oils to the candle, if you're attracting something to you, you place a triangle upside down, the pointed side to you. Always use your index finger, because that is your power finger. Use the index finger on your dominant hand, the hand that you write with. If you're trying to repel an energy or remove something away from you or the person you're dressing the candle for, then you would place the bottom of the triangle here and put it to a tip going away from you. The point would be going away from you. So you would make your motion with the triangle, and then put the two legs of the triangle up there, making sure that they meet going away from you. Some rules of thought also are to place two triangles on this candle, and that would be putting an inverted triangle here coming down. Don't make the triangle in one motion. Put the base of the triangle and then the two legs coming to a point that way. Then you would come from the bottom and make a triangle base at the bottom of the candle and take it to a point to meet that other triangle. So it would actually look like an hourglass. Let's see if I can get a piece of paper and show you. It would be easier to show you this way, that direction, and that's to attract something. The base would be to, putting the base at the bottom would be to repel. So you can use it separately, or do the hourglass on the candle and it will look that way. And again, it's up to you, but this hourglass formation would represent an entire body, human body. Making this would be starting at the top of the glass and starting at the base of the glass, so that you encompass the entire surface, not just a small section here. So you want the entire surface of the glass to have that triangle, have it come all the way down. So if you're doing an inverted triangle, you put the base there and you would bring the point all the way down to the base of that candle. I, however, have foregone this since starting candle work. I have foregone using this triangular and hourglass setup. That's up to you. Be led by your higher being or those helpers that come out to help you. I, in dressing a candle, usually place the oil in my hand, rub the oil so that it's completely covering my palm and all fingers. I then pick up the candle and proceed to placing the oil completely on the surface of this candle, even in here and on the wick. And I would do that as I did when I energized it, placing it using both hands to place energy on it. And that's how I use it. I want it to completely cover it, completely cover the surface of the candle while directing the energies. And then I will use them for whatever the purpose, whether I'm repelling something or bringing something to me. The only time I don't put the oil on like that is if I'm using a particular type oil that I don't want to touch my skin. If I'm doing so, then I would get a cotton swab and place the oil, I would get a cotton swab or a cotton ball and place the oil onto the surface of this candle so that the oil is not on me. If I'm trying to remove some stagnant energy, it depends on the type of oil, and you'll know what the oil is for before you use the oil. You need to know the properties, metaphysical properties of the oil before using the oil, and that way you'll know whether that oil should not touch your skin. And if it's in the case where I don't want the oil on my skin, I would place this candle on a surface and put the oil on it, or you can actually put gloves on and put the oil on it. Once the oil is on it, it's set where you need it, or then you would pick it up and place it on the surface that you need it to be on, such as an altar, until it has finished burning completely out, and then you would dispose of it. Again, not touching the oil if that's one of those oils that you don't want on your person. Completely dressing the candle is essential for the success of your work. And again, completely dressing a candle includes cleansing the candle, energizing the candle, labeling the candle, and then adding other items to. Thank you for joining me. Until next time.